Sunday and happy Father's Day to all you dads in whatever variety you're in. But anyway, welcome to our Sunday live chat. We have a very special live chat cooked up today because we're going to be celebrating Litha. Litha is coming up in actually this week, just a few days, so before our next live chat. So we're going to do a little celebration. Of course, we're going to do our weekly reading. But before we dive into all of that, if you don't know who I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot. You can learn a little bit more about me by checking down the links down below, kittensweightsandtarot.com, maybe checking out Patreon, the KWT tribe over there, and also the KWT tribe channel members. Maybe you want to go check that out. Maybe the Witchy Shop, Desert Cauldron. So yeah, let's see who all is here. It's a beautiful day out, so I figured we'd be outdoors. I kind of wanted some table space because we're going to be doing some arts and crafts today. So let's get our witchy on. And we have kind of put some netting around on the porch, which keeps all the little buggies out, but we haven't really had many bugs right now. So whatevs. Anyway, let's see. All right, Mike is here. He says, hi all, I'm happy waiting. Much love from England. Yay! And Kayla's here. Hello, hello. Lily is here. So let me know, what do you guys have cooked up for today? And for those of you that are celebrating Father's Day, let me know what you're doing. So whether you are an animal daddy, you're a human baby daddy, whether you're, are an adopted father or, father of the planet, let us know. So Peg says greetings to you all. Nancy is also here. Hello, hello. I'd say for us for today, I don't know, we don't have too many plans other than to maybe go for a hike, go hang out in the forest. I do want to do some magical stuff like work on my altar. But other than that, not too much plan. Wow, my little staff is just moving around here. Okay, it gets a little windy. Oh, Patrick is here. Richie is here. Says, hi, ma'am. Namaskar. It's been so long. Yes. Hello. Hello. Oh my gosh. So happy to have you here. Angela is here, our poet of the group. I love all of her poetic messages. She says, blessings and hugs, everyone. So much love today. Blessings to fathers and single moms who are both forever fathers and those who have a hard time and are in heaven today. Amen. Amen. Yes, so definitely happy Father's Day to both my grandfathers who are on the other side. So they are in spirit, as well as many of my uncles and things like that. So yeah, lots of a celebration here today. Nancy says she's going to be watching on TV. Hey! Richie says, belated happy birthday. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had a wonderful birthday. It was on the 10th, and we got to travel to Flagstaff, and which is in northern Arizona. It's about, it's a couple hours from here. And it was gorgeous. You know, it's a beautiful town. They have a lot of little shops and places to eat. Gorgeous hiking. They have much taller trees than we do here. It's a lot like Pine Top, I would say, which is not too far from us. But yeah, they have a lot of huge ponderosas and pinyon pines. They had these massive junipers. They were ancient junipers. These are the alligator junipers, where the juniper trees that we have around our property, they're called one-seed junipers. But these alligator junipers, the trunks were like, I don't know, I guess like as wide as this porch. I don't know, like I would say about that wide. And it was just amazing. So we took a lot of pictures, but we also did our channeling out there. So our channeling video that's coming out tomorrow was done out in Flagstaff. So it'll be a nice change of pace. I hope you guys love all the like B-roll footage and stuff like that. But definitely check it out. Tomorrow's channeling is on the two world split. That was a requested, highly requested video. Plus James and I were very curious, like, what's going on with the two world split? What is that exactly? What does it look like? And we had, I'm always just open to whatever energy wants to come in that feels like it can help us, with gathering that info, whether it's negative polarity, positive polarity. And we actually connected to the energy of Nefertiti. That was a surprise. I was not expecting her to come through, but she was saying there's a lot of parallels with Egypt. So you'll just have to watch. That is tomorrow. I'll make sure I put a little sneak peek over on the Instagrams in case you are interested. Um, so yeah, Patrick says, from the first video I've watched, my life is getting more and more clear and a stranger all the time. Crazy ride, but I love it. Dude, we are so happy to have you and all of you guys here on this crazy ride with us. It's crazy awesome. That's all I got to say. And even though, it's got its ups, it's got its downs, um, I wouldn't trade it for anything. I would not be able to go back to the past, to go back to the life I once had. Like I am curious to see what the future holds, and for right now we're enjoying the present right here, which is a gift and it is the best. So, um let's see. Angela said, "Ah, Terry, you're making me blush. I'm so glad you all enjoy my rhymes. I have so much fun writing them. Keep it going, girl." I do enjoy them. I feel that each of you guys have something so unique to offer our live chats. And those poems are definitely one of those unique things that I think makes it such a beautiful place to be on Sundays. Lily said, "OMG, she popped into my head the other day. I was like, what are you doing here?" Yeah, I was like, what's Nefertiti doing here? I was like, two worlds split. I'm like, okay. It was her higher self. I mean, I guess it was she had to access part of her ego because she wanted to talk about the time when she was actually here on Earth. But for the most part, it was her higher self. I think I'm gonna put my Dealy Bob over here. Hold on. You guys will see my staff in a moment. So yeah, I'm gonna be using my Osava roe deer staff. It's a giant native talking stick. So we're going to do that for um, our little arts and crafts project for Litha that we're going to be doing today. Um, Richie said, how's Tom doing? Hope vibing well. Everything's going well. Me and James are doing great up here. The it's I don't know, I think it's turned into like the Garden of Eden up here, because it's so green and there's so many plants now growing on this hill. I mean, there's an explosion of globe mallow growing like right here near the leach field, daisies, and just it's beautiful. There's literally, I'm not exaggerating, at least 200 birds here in the morning, and sometimes you guys hear them during the live chats, but we turn on our little creek, using our well water. All the animals come, we throw out seeds, little bits of like leftover like food scraps for some of the other animals. So we have a bunny that comes right up to us. She's a little cottontail. We named her Sammy. And then we have, of course, Miss Squirrel, who is preggers again. I don't know where all these male squirrel suitors are coming from, but but Miss Squirrel is, I think, repopulating the squirrel population up here. So so yeah, Miss Squirrel is eating for I don't know how many pups she's got in there. And just all the different birds, the ravens that come by, and all our little lizard friends that run up to us. And it's just, every day I'm just like, wow, we live here. Like, whoa. Um, Angela said, also to anyone who has a hard time or is triggered by Father's Day, your feelings are valid. I see you. You are awesome. Not celebrating is fine. You are loved. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And Patrick said, holy moly, I love that spear staff magic wand. Yes, actually, and it has well, I mean, it was made on the reservation, but it's got the on here. I don't know if you guys can see because it's kind of faded now. But the basically the creation story of the world is kind of written here. And yeah, I'll show it to you guys in more detail when I use it for our circle casting. But yeah, I love that wand a lot. Angel said it's a total Snow White moment there. It is. I do. I feel like I'm like his Cinderella or Snow White. I'm like, ha 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 ha. You know, come little birdies and animals, you know. Anywho, okay, so like I said, I have a lot cooked up for us today. Those people who are new to the channel or are going to be watching this replay, so you might be asking, how do we know like what's going to be the theme for the week? Well, every Thursday or Friday, I usually put out a poll of what you guys would like to do during the Sunday live chat. And so I put out a public poll, but I also gave that poll to, oh, hey, Miss Squirrel. Yeah, Miss Squirrel got the poll. I gave the poll to the YouTube members and also my patrons, and then, you know, kind of pool it all together. So if you're a YouTube member or a patron or both, you get extra votes. So if there's something that you're really dying to see during a Sunday live chat, that's kind of the perks of being one of those members. But it looked like everybody was pretty unanimous in what they wanted to do. Sure, there were other votes for other things, but a lot of people just wanted a Litha celebration. And so Litha takes place kind of on like the 20th, 21st. But for me, it's not just a day, it's a whole season. And so, you know, Litha would go until Lanasa or Lammas time, which is in August. So right now we're finishing up the wonderful time of Beltane, but now we're going into Litha, which is basically one of my favorite times of year, you know, because it is considered on the pagan calendar midsummer, but for the rest of the world, it's considered the summer solstice, which means that it is the longest day of the year, where at winter time, the winter solstice is the shortest day of the year. And so I enjoy summer. I'm a summer baby. I'm a June baby, but you know, I guess that doesn't dictate what season I like, but I've always loved summer. I love the sunshine. I love being warm. I love browning up, you know. I love just the way the sun sets, like all the colors, you know, on a summer evening. I love the warm summer evenings. I love how early the sun comes up, you know, helping me to wake up earlier, thus extending my day and the fun activities that we do throughout the day. All the animals that are so colorful, you know, around this time. Also, all of the plants, they're kind of in this transition between like summer and spring. So they're still very colorful and vibrant. The whole area here is so green. Like there's green grass like everywhere. The trees are evergreen, but some of the non-evergreen trees, they're all just, it's gorgeous. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. So I love Litha. I definitely do a lot of celebratory things during Litha, not just for the day, but kind of throughout the whole time. And so that's why I want to do a little arts and crafts project with you guys. Of course, I'm going to be doing more as Litha approaches. And I will make sure that I post that on Instagram for you guys, plus a little how-to. And I might post some of it to the AZ off-grid. So we have we have actually a couple other channels on Instagram. One is at desert.cauldron. That's where we put more of our pagany, witchy type stuff, and things that we're creating for our Desert Cauldron shop. But AZ Off Grid, at AZ Off Grid, we talk about stuff that we do with the land. We talk about our shenanigans, you know, here on the homestead, like homesteady stuff. Sometimes we show off our archery skills, or, you know, our pew pew skills. Sometimes we're showing off our sword skills. By the way, Litha, I'm going to have to be swinging my new Killage around. So Killage is a Turkish sword. I would say it looks pretty close to a shamshir. A shamshir is a Persian type sword, or it means sword. And many people think of like the Sinbad sword, where it's like extremely curved. It has kind of a false blade on the other side, although you could sharpen it if you want to. But because of its single-handedness, you know, you're not having to grip it with two hands like some other swords. It's just I don't know. You get to be like a whirling ball of blade. I don't know. It's just really cool. I think it's good meditation. You have to be absolutely present with it. Plus, it just feels so cool to swing around. And that was actually an early birthday gift I got from James. So, and speaking of gifts from James, he made me a few wire wrap pendants, but he also made me some things for my altar. And one of those things I want to share with you guys, because I'm going to use it today. He made me this awesome wand. Oh my gosh, this is made out of copper wire wrap. He decided to leave it only like partially unfinished so that we can finish it together. So it would have his energy and my energy, creating it together on my birthday. So we did a little arts and crafts, and I added this deer leather and sinew, and just to have more of a grounded but connected energy. So he added this gold sheen obsidian sphere. These two stones were stones that I found here on the property. So this stone here is like a mixture of like agate and calcite and some other things like quartz maybe, but it's a little bit of a druzy, which is really cool. This stone here is known as a shaman stone. And usually it's harder to find them in a ball shape, but they basically come from volcanic activity. So it's like, I think was a iron and magna magnetites, and there was a couple other minerals in there, but it's super grounding. It's great. And then on the end here, check it out. We have a Danny B, a beautiful pink dambarite from Mexico. But also this gold sheen obsidian is also from Mexico, which I love. And so he made a little loop here in case I wanted to, hang it from somewhere, or maybe I just wanted to hang it from my wrist when I'm not using it. But I'm keeping it charged on the altar for now. I do want to use it for today's festivities. But I also wanted to show you guys because if you really like something like this, he can start making these for Desert Cauldron, or he could do maybe some special orders. So definitely let us know. You can always message me or message Desert Cauldron, on Instagram if you're interested in these types of wands. But they feel freaking amazeballs. And he said he would be happy to make more of these. So we are going to use these pew, pew, today. All right. So, first off, I want to get started with our weekly reading. I would be happy if you guys joined in on the reading. That's what these live chats are for. So, if you want to, bring us some downloads and add into the reading, it just makes it so much more well-rounded, so much more flavorful about this upcoming week. So whatever downloads you get, whether just channeling it yourself, or maybe you want to use your cards or your runes or pendulums or whatever it is you want to use, you're more than welcome. Please share your messages here, and yeah, we'll do our little reading together, and then we'll get into the arts and crafts. And I'm keeping it a little mum for now because I think you guys are gonna like it. Okay, I do want to give a shout out to all of my subscribers. So a while ago we hit over 10,000 subscribers. Mwah! Thank you guys so much, and everybody who comes into these live chats and watches our channeling videos. My YouTube members, Lisa, Kayla, Nancy, love you guys. Also, my patrons, Myrna and Karen and Palu and Lisa, Heather, Lily, Dana, Kayla, Suri, and Brandy, Brian and Jason. Love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. All right. So let's see what you guys had to say here. Um, and just says, oh, I forgot one in my earlier statement. Blessings also to any fathers who lost any family. You can make it through so many blessings. I try and make sure no one is forgotten on holidays when I can. You are an amazing person, Angela. Thank you. Mike says, hi, all. Nice to be here with you. And Mike, happy Father's Day. Angela says, dang, that wand is stunning. And that's that stone you found is a hag stone or a holy stone, is a sign you're on the right path in life, and you can meditate by looking into the hole. Whoa, wow, okay. Will do, will do. Oh, and we have another father who's popped up here, Jonathan Daly. Aloha. How are you? Oh my goodness. Mike says, thank you. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this Father's Day slash Litha slash beautiful Sunday reading. I, of course, had to bust out my Seasons of the Witch Litha Oracle because Litha. And actually, I want to do a very special spread for today because we're going to be going into Litha. So I have a summer solstice spread. So feel free to do this spread along with me if you want, or you could just pull cards, for yourself. That's great too. I'm going to put the intention that this summer solstice won't be just a reading for me, but I want it for everybody, because everybody for basically this upcoming week, for the solstice. Oh, Mike has 3 boys. Oh my goodness. Lots of love to them. Daddy 3 times. Nice. Angela says, I've got one of my few male dolls. Has going to give some messages. Male dolls are hard to find, but I have 3 in total from the thrift stores. Very nice. Have a nice balance of divine masculine and divine feminine. Okay, so here are the questions that I'm going to be asking with this spread. And like I said, feel free to pull some cards along with this spread, or if you just want to pull cards for the week in general or whatever downloaded messages you get, that's fabulous too. Make sure you share them here in the chat. And people who watch the replay, make sure you read that chat because there's a lot of beautiful wisdom, insight, messages, poems, from all the wonderful people who hang out with us during this live chat. Okay, so the questions are, so the energy of this moment right now, so this week, what you need to shine a light on in our lives this week. Where do we shine the brightest, as Litha is approaching? What needs to be released at Litha time? What will grow this summer after we release these things? How can we nourish this growth? And lastly, what will radiate in summer as we approach fall? So between summer and fall, or Litha and Lanasa, or some people call it Lamas, but I like Lanasa because Lu, I think, was a good guy. Angela said, I set the intention of a full clearing of negativity through the generations from our homes and our souls, minds and hearts today. May all that isn't serving us be cleared and new good vibes flow in its place within us. Amen. All right. Amen. That is beautiful. So releasing the old, bringing in the new. I love it. I love it. All right. So I'm going to put my little spread off to the side here and I will reference it as we pull some cards. All right, so like I said, I got our Litha Oracle. And I think I want to pair it with a deck that I got for myself for my birthday, like a little happy birthday to me. Saved up my little dollars for it. And I keep it in this cute little pouch that my friend Heather gifted me one year. But this is the, oh, hold on, the Witch Sister Tarot. So I love these cards. I love the art. It's the same artist as the creator of the Tarot, the Hidden Realms. And I loved that deck too. I'm kind of sad I gave it away. There was somebody who really wanted that deck, and so I gifted it to them. But I really liked that deck. But you know what? I like this one too. So I'm glad I have this one now. So it's the Witch Sister Tarot. So we'll be using that as a supplement along with our Litha cards. So let me just put both of those right there. Okay. Mike says, my cat says hello. Well, meow. Hello to your kitty. And what is Kitty's name, by the way? Okay, so let's use the Litha Oracle for us at this present moment. So let's pull this. Lily is here. This is greetings, watching from beginning on 2 times to catch up. I have a squirrel. I named him Sammy. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. I love bunnies and squirrels. And the little chipmunks that have been running around here, and I think they've made a home in the RV, in the belly of the RV. I keep trying to scare them away, but they have decided that the RV is their home. So, and these chipmunks, they run so fast. The way they move, I'm pretty sure they're not in this reality at all. A lot of these animals, I don't think are in this reality. The way they move is like, you don't see all of their movements. It's pretty cool. Oh, so Mike's kitty's name is Bella. Oh, Bella. Well, much love to her. Lily said, by the way, I love your sundress. That color looks so good on you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I love using my sarongs in various ways. I have like all these wonderful sarongs. And so sometimes I turn them into skirts or dresses. But I was like, if we're going to be doing a Litha live chat, we're going to be in some Litha colors. And oh, by the way, I don't normally wear a whole lot of gold. I'm more like a silver person, but I felt like this year is like the year of like gold, the energy, but also the metal. So I ended up getting, he was in a pop-up sale from Sarah Wilder, but she makes all these beautiful pieces. I have a lot of her rings. I don't have any of them on today. Actually, I have uh, this ring I got from the San Diego Gem Show when I was there, and I had some friends that were like the Himalayan booth, and so I bought a ring from them. And then this ring that has Athena on it, actually got at a antique store in I think it was in Tempe. Yeah. So yeah, so I have those on today. But anyway, I have her Eris earrings. So this is all about the element of air and all air signs. Plus, I thought it would be really nice in gold. So I got those. They were on sale. They were a very good price. So I was like, okay. I was like, I'll get a little something, something. Came all the way from Australia. um, Angela says, ah, blessings, Bella. That's Italian for beautiful. Uh, Oh, Mike did not know that. There is Italiano for beautiful, bella, bella, bella. All right, so let's pull our energy at this moment for Litha. And we have sun magic. Look at that card. It says, don't allow the power of your light to scare you into dimming yourself. Ooh. So perhaps at this moment, I think um, perhaps the last week, last several days, a lot of people have been mm, going through it, I would say. Like a lot of old stuff has come up. Sometimes it's come up in the form of physical pain. Sometimes it's been maybe friction, with family members or friends or just awkward situations. And it may have felt for some maybe like a tower moment or just a moment of great change, almost like the death card or the tower. But what's actually coming up is the fact that with these situations, although we may view them as negative, are actually the light in it is seeing how much we've grown. And sometimes that could be very scary to our ego because our ego likes to remain stagnant. It doesn't like to grow. It loves the past. It loves to hold on to all of that because it creates a very predictable future. If we hold on to the past and we continue the past in our present, we have this very predictable what's to come because it doesn't have an intuition of its own. However, we also have a soul in our body which does have an intuition. It is intuitive. That's the energy it is. It knows all. It is all. We are a part of the all. And so sometimes when these situations come up and they sometimes trigger these things from the past, we may feel as though like, I'm out of alignment, I'm off my path, this is, maybe I should just go back to the way things were. But really, what the ego is saying is, I want to go back to the way things were because you have grown and changed so much and you have shined your light so brightly that I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of your soul. And I don't want to go back, or I want to go back. I don't want to push forward. And so at this time, this is just a reminder that whatever difficulties you may be going through is really just the fear of the soul of its own light. So, fear of the ego of the soul's own light. So, I would say keep pushing forward. If there is a difficulty this time, this too shall pass, as they say, and reflecting on it later, you will be able to see the wonderful growth that you have had and how much clearer that makes the path before you, and also how much more joy you can have in this present moment. So wonderful. I love that. I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna put that like that. Okay. Um, let's put this here. And now let's use the Witch Sister Tarot to pull our second card, which is what I need to shine a light on my life. Okay, so what are we needing to shine a light on right now? this week as we approach Litha? What do we need to shine a light on? And Patrick says, yep, the ego and its old way of living is also fun to look at and just say, no thanks anymore. Real nice card. All right. And definitely, I think it's great when these situations come up, because it is an opportunity to have that clarity. It's like, I have grown, and sometimes, even if we go backwards briefly just to taste that past, it's not it's never the way we think it's going to go. It's never the same, because we have changed. I mean, we could try as best we can. Like, let's say I really liked 1996. I could try my best to go back to 1996, because Lord knows I still have some of my clothes from 1996. I could totally dress the part. I could go back to the vocabulary that I used to use back in 96. Um, but I have changed so much that I really can't be Tara of 1996. I can't be that 15-year-old anymore. I've matured too much, physically, but also spiritually. I've grown. I really can't go back to the past. So it makes it easier to, look at the ego saying, come on, let's go back. It'll be great. Come on. It's familiar. but we can take a look at that and be like, yeah, nah, no thanks. All right. Okay. So what do we need to shine a light on this Litha in our lives? Ooh, and we have flow, which is the temperance card, actually. How beautiful with this little girl making the infinite spiral. Angela says his message is, there is no such thing as flawless. Those striving to be totally flawless are striving for something that just isn't. Flaws are what make you unique. Don't try and erase them, work with them. Yes, and I agree too. I don't see anything as like a flaw, really. It's just something that's different. And I do believe that in the matrix, this cube that we live in, they would have us believe that there is a prototype human, that all humans behave this way. If you are masculine energy or feminine energy, you must do this, you must be like this. So therefore, when we look at our very uniqueness, because we are all different souls, even though we're all one, how we express that soul is different for each person on this planet. Each animal, each plant, mineral, each energy on this planet expresses it differently. And so in that expression, we compare ourselves to what the matrix would have us be, and it's different. And so then we see it as like, oh, well, it must be a flaw or something that's wrong with us. But that's just not so. There is no one type of human. There is no one type of, female or male or squirrel or juniper tree. There is no one type. Everything is unique. Even the juniper trees here, from tree to tree, they're different energies. Sure, maybe from a perspective, we say, oh, they all look like junipers, they all produce berries. Some of them are masculine, some of them are feminine, but that's just not the case. And I do believe that is the matrix, to help bring our vibration down, to get us to feel as though there's something wrong with us because we don't fit a mold. And that's what keeps us from growing, from awakening. But it really can't stop the awakening. It can try to slow it as best it can, but it can't stop it, baby. So let's look back here. Whoa, missed some comments. Oh, Angela says, your shadows, calm them, befriend them, but don't erase your flaws. Don't hold in your emotions. Yes. Lily said, Bella also means beautiful in Spanish. It's bella. Angela says, there is no need to hold in tears, hold in anger. Holding in only makes it more destructive, only makes it hurt more. Emotions are ordinary. We all have them. The whole cosmos screams at times, and the stars burn and galaxies twirl. Everything is in motion. Don't try and halt yourself in your motion or your emotions. Just sit with them, handle them, release them with love. Beautiful. And John is here. Hello, hello. He says, never met people's expectations. Yeah, I don't think I have either. And that's a good thing. Mike says, my emotions are on high alert lately. Well, I feel like I said, that's it's been like that way for a lot of us lately. Um, because I do feel the ego program is feeling the effects of a lot of the healing that we've been doing. And it gets scared. And so it throws up all these things to get us to go into our root chakra, to get out of our heart space. Not that the root chakra is a bad thing. I'm just saying that's where our safety and security is. It wants us just solely to focus on that. Um, but there's also healing in that. We can thank our ego for showing us through our emotions, like, okay, this and this and this is where I still need to heal. Like, hey, thanks. I know what you're trying to do there, ego, but you ended up showing me the light, so thanks. um, okay, so let's pull card number 3. Where do we shine the brightest at this moment? As we go into Litha this week, where do we shine the brightest? Patrick said, oh, yes, I love to swear sometimes just to release it as well, not just sit with it, but that works good for me. Don't get mad, but just release it. Yeah. Mike says, thanks for explaining it to me. You're very welcome. And yeah, I would say, Patrick, sometimes, yeah, when I get really angry, like, and I need to release that anger, yeah, there's a lot of swearing, a lot of swear bear. I mean, it would make a sailor blush probably of what comes out. Um, but also like the very Hispanic part of me comes out. So, but also it's good for me to see, like, when I'm needing to release, what are all these aspects of me that help me to release. Like, also that's something for me to dive into. Um, Jonathan says, I'm drawing from the Phroxatera, ooh, and the Liminal Forest Oracle. First position is 6 of and approach. Sometimes you can change your direction by changing your approach to your path. Beautiful, very beautiful. Angela says, where's Susie today? I miss her. I know that she's off doing some things today, um, because she is honoring her um, husband who has passed, and also some other things, I think, with her son and things like that. So I know some people got some Father's Day stuff to do, or to kind of meditate on today. But that's cool. I know she'll watch the replay. But yes, she was always missed. Kayla sending Susie some hearts. Alrighty. Okay, so where do we shine the brightest this week? Let's see. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So I ended up pulling flow again, and I did shuffle pretty well. So that's interesting. So it's not only an answer to the question, what do I need to shine a light on in my life? And it was that balance, that temperance balance, our emotions flowing in and flowing out. What emotions are coming up at this time? What emotions are sparked because of those emotions? What emotions come up when we are triggered, or when difficulties or blasts from the past come up? Like, what is all of this? But it's also an answer to the questions of where we shine the brightest. And where we shine the brightest is in acknowledging those emotions. When we don't, just feel something and then be like, okay, meh, on to the next thing. But our emotions, our feelings are our greatest gift. They can teach us so much about everything around us. They teach us about what's going on inside of here. They teach us where we need to heal. They teach us where we find joy, or where we find distress. They teach us about our environment that we are in. Our emotions are a very beautiful human gift that we have, and it is directly related to our soul. Those emotions are energetic. Our soul is energetic. So it's the literal language of our soul speaking to us. And although the ego may try to utilize it, it's still a part of the soul, which means it's still able to show us healing. So yeah, I think that that's great. Not only do we need to shine a light on what emotions are coming up for us, but also understand that it's a beautiful thing to have, here on earth. Otherwise, I think we would be pretty lost without them. Um, let's see, let's go back here. Do, do, do. Angela said, Susie, if you see this later, thinking of you, blessings, you and your husband this Father's Day, heavenly angel, hugs to you, amen. John says, I've heard there is a dose response when you're hurt. Stub your toe or whatever with how loud and severe you swear words. Um, or you swear the words are, giving more endorphins to reduce the pain. I have heard of that too. That yeah, like if you hurt yourself, like it is the reaction, like it's a natural reaction to be like ow or yell or scream because your body needs to get that release. Something has injured it, it must release that pain somehow. Animals do it naturally. Trees do it through the release of sap in other ways. Sometimes they might, pull back their energy from a particular part of themselves. It's just shows itself differently, in different forms that we have here on Earth. Children do it naturally. It's when we're adults that we're taught to no, just you just hold it all in, But that's, I mean, who taught the adults to be that way? The Matrix. you know. Um, okay, let's see. Let's go back here. Angela says, "My doll. He is nameless, by the way, because the name has never struck for some reason, and that's fine too. I have things that I utilize that I haven't really named yet. And I don't think we should force a name onto something. I think when it comes, it comes." Jonathan said, okay, for the second position, he got Queen of Water and Dream. We have to nurture our dreams to help nurture our feelings. That is so true. And also, speaking of dreams, I think a lot of people have had some very prophetic dreams lately, or very interesting dreams and intense, I might say. So, definitely a lot going on in the dream world, which is also connected to the same energy our emotions are. So, that's wonderful. Lily is sending Susie lots of love and hugs. Angela says, but his message is you shine in undefined and unique ways that even you might not understand. You are like river water in constant flow and change. No matter how you deny it, you shine. And Mike says, call him no name. That's still a name. Yes, exactly. Or what was it in the Odyssey? It was yeah, I think it was something like no name. My name is ah, oh gosh, I taught the Odyssey for how many years to ninth graders, and I can't remember Odysseus's name that he tells the Cyclops, because he blinds the Cyclops, and the Cyclops asks him like, what is your name? And so Odysseus never really wanted to find him, so he gave him some like no name until Odysseus got cocky, and then he's like, "My name is Odysseus, son of Laertes." um, let's see, let's go back here. Angela says, like a mirror and reflect back the little light and the light around you, sending a river of light which illuminates whatever wants to hide. Ah, Nomen. And John said, yeah, crazy dreams. Angela said, he said he was Nomen, and that the Cyclops said Nomen was hurting him. Oh, yeah, no man. Yeah, it was like, I am, oh, nobody. I'm nobody. I'm no man. I'm nobody. He's like, and they're like, who is hurting you, brother? Oh, nobody is hurting me. And they're like, my students always thought that was such a funny part. Um, yeah, so he said no man or nobody was hurting him. Then the Cyclops said no man was hurting him, and all the others laughed. Jonathan said, third position, 10 of water and awe. Our interconnections between our inner and outer worlds brings awe and comfort. By embracing our connections, we embrace our divine nature. Beautifully put, very beautifully put. And John says, I have many told and allies that haven't revealed their names. Yeah. And I think that for the most part, like when I connect energetically to things, oftentimes they say that the name isn't as important as connecting to the energy, because really names are just representations of energy. That's why we name our children and things like that, because we want to be able to call that energy something. Once we get back to the days of telepathy and we, work on our telepathic skills and our energetic skills, we won't need our names anymore. It'll just be like, basically if I wanted to connect to John, just like boom, I'm talking to him right now, and he knows that I'm talking to him, and I wouldn't have to say, "Hey, John." But yeah, I feel that way too. That beyond this realm, names aren't really as important, I guess, as they are here because, well, we're not that great telepathically speaking yet. Patrick says, I keep dreaming about a collapse of other timelines. It's very cool to see. It's so clear. And lifelike is so real as well. And then I wake up and it's like I was there for real. I love it. Yeah, a lot of people have been having very real, intense dreams. Like they're really there. And I feel like there is no difference between our sleeping dream world and our waking dream world, that it's all a dream. It really is. And because, you know, our senses are manipulated in our sleeping dream state, and we feel things, we see things, we hear things, you know, in our dreams, just like we do here. And I think it just goes to show you that the most real thing that we have is our intuitive sense, as opposed to our 5 physical senses, which are just easily manipulated no matter the dream world that we are in. So very cool. Man, you are just blowing my little guy around. Okay, little guy, you're gonna have to sit there. How about that? Cool. And just as I couldn't stand Odysseus reading the myth, he made me so mad with his antics. I remember saying in mythology class, he should get fed to the Scylla. My teacher said that's harsh. I said, he's not thinking and he's costing lives. Yeah, I would say that Odysseus had a lot of ego in that story, where he was like, I am Odysseus, son of Laertes. It's like, okay, bro. Okay. But what's your soul? Jonathan says, I've heard that by naming a guide, you limit them. Yeah, I think so, but I think that's more for our human self, like saying, "Oh, my guide's name is Blue," like let's say, where it's more just for our ego to feel like that guide wouldn't know I'm talking to them unless I called them by name, or they wouldn't know I'm reaching out to them unless I said their name. I think that's just more the ego portion of ourselves, where our soul portion would be like, if I want to talk to that guide, boom, I'm talking to that guide right now. Like we are just connecting energetically. So perhaps I guess it could be limiting in our view, but eventually I guess we all get to the same place. Eventually we do connect to that guide. So it's just how we want to do it. John said some of them wait for a certain familiarity. True, 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 true. And Patrick says it all happens at the same time. Time and space does not exist. Exactly. All is one. And outside of this realm, which in the cube matrix, everything is made to look very linear. But outside of the cube, which, you know, is the true 3D, I guess you could say, all time is one. And in all other dimensions, all time is one. It's all at once. And that's why I think sometimes it's hard for people to wrap their heads around, like when I connect to other people energetically, like connecting to their soul. And some people say, oh, you can only connect to people's souls when they die. And I say, well, why would that be? If everything is happening at once, I could connect to that soul anytime. I can connect to the past version of that soul, the future version of that soul, the present soul. And if there's a soul within us while we're alive, why wouldn't we be able to connect to that soul? You know, why would we have to wait for the vessel to die? I don't think the vessel has really much to do with connecting to the energy. So very, very, very good point there. Let's see. And then John says, I think they test our intentions as much as we test theirs. I think so. I think these games we play. All right. Okay. Our next question. What needs to be released at this time? As we approach Litha this upcoming week, what needs to be released? Let's take a look ski. Oops. It'd be great if I was working with a full deck. That's what they say. All right, so what needs to be released at this time? Okay, and we have the Fool card. All right, let me dive into this one. Mm. All right, all right. So like I said, a lot of people are going through some stuff right now, whether it's physical pains that are coming up, whether it's family stuff or situations or conflict with a person or an inner conflict that we have going on. All of this is to show us our growth as well as where we still need a bit of healing and a bit of love. And when we do this reflection, and instead of just having the immediate knee-jerk reaction to whatever it is the ego would like us to do, to get us into our root chakra, the I think the Matrix program would have us believe that looking at anything deeper than the situation or the physical pain that we're having is the fool's journey. But they say that in the negative sense, the Matrix would say, because it's like, oh well, what do you want to look at that for? That's just nonsense. It's just you know pie in the sky. You can't prove that scientifically, and all of these things. And although many of us, we have been trying to release that program for a long time, it's still a program of the collective consciousness because we're still on this, in this matrix. We're still in this box. Gaia is still in this box, in this cube. So it's still something that we need to work on releasing. And that is the mistrust of our intuition. And that's a very clever tactic. If the only true sense, the only real sense that we have is our intuitive sense, or our sixth sense, if you want to say, then that would be a very clever ploy to tell every being that that is the only sense that is incorrect. That's the only sense that is false. You can't prove that sense, yet it's the one that is the most true. So I would say we'll just continue working on releasing the idea of mistrust. That what I'm dreaming about that feels so real to me, or what my intuitive downloads, that I get, or when I connect to my higher self, or I'm connecting to my guides, or whatever it may be, is, there's that little part that says, maybe it's not true, or it's not real. It's still down there. It's still a little program that's down there. It's still something that we got to work on. Angela says he gave a very smiling energy and gave you all understand, and it's closer to the surface than you know. Trust is an intention, and it's an intention that must be carefully set. Yes, definitely. Sorry, I'm just going to hold James's wand while I pull our next card. But let's also see other things that you have. Okay, so Jonathan had the fourth position, release. Three of earth and quicksand. We need to release the need to always keep helping others while we are sinking into emotional and mental quicksand. Help yourself so you can help us. Exactly. I know so many of us are service to others. We want to help others. That's where our heart is. Our heart goes out when we see, an animal in need, or plant, or human, or child, or elderly person. We want to help them. But sometimes we forget about how we are also them, that you are that child, you are that elderly person, you are that animal, and you are that tree. And so to show less love to the self, or less care to the self, is to inadvertently say that I am not part of the collective. I am somehow some weird different entity that is not a part of source energy. So to show love to self is actually to show love to those other people. Just like Jonathan is saying, if I love my grandmother and I want to help my grandmother, the best way to help her is to first show love to myself, so that I can, be of service to her when my energy stores and all of this are replenished. And plus, it helps to teach her to care for herself, as she wants to care for others as well. And so it becomes an equal energetic exchange of balance of, I know that I am love, and I know that you are love. We are equal. I am just as important as you. You are just as important as me. And so there is no, oh, I grovel at your feet, I am less than. That's something that's programmed within the matrix for us to feel like we should always put ourselves last, that we need to grovel, that we need to say, oh no, you're better than me, you're greater than me. It separates us from knowing our true worth and the love that we all are, all the universal love, the one, we are one. And Mike says, that's why I always say, I love you all. Exactly. And I love you guys too. I love me, I love you. All righty. Beautiful, beautiful. You guys have some wonderful messages. Okay, the next question is, what will grow this summer if we end up releasing this idea of, oh, it's a fool's journey to, dive into things that are, in the etheric or in the energetic world. Like that's not real. That sixth sense isn't real. So if we continue letting go of that program that is deep, deep, deep inside that ego, hidden under many layers, then what will grow this summer? Let's see. Do, 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 do. I don't know why my high school's fight song just came in my mind. All right. Let's see here. Angela said, I love you guys too. I agree. If I greet with the word blessings for a similar reason, it breaks the negativity and the stagnant energy and makes most smile. No one thinks they'll be blessed today, but it's nice when it does occur. Exactly. And I think that that's beautiful. You're always saying blessings, blessings all. And I think sometimes we forget about that we are just as deserving to bless ourselves as much as we bless others. Mike says, our heart will grow more for all. Exactly. Exactly. Beautiful. See, this is why I love hanging out with you homies during the Sunday live chat. You have so many wonderful, positive messages. The light that you all exude is just magnificent. And I know that we are all a mixture of light and shadow. And the fact that we have this awareness of our shadow as much as our light, and still we choose light, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay. Okay, so yeah, what will grow this summer if we work on releasing this? And we have the tradition, which is like our Hierophant card, but more in the Kabbalistic point of view. Angela's heart growing hugs to all and blessings. Beautiful. Okay, so let's tap into this one. Okay. So I mean, it's a simple message, but one that sometimes we forget. That if we continue to pluck away at those larger programs within the ego, like the one being don't trust your sixth sense, don't trust your intuitive hits and the etheric plane, the astral plane, then we begin to change our actual core beliefs. And in doing that, if we totally start changing that around, then how we see the world starts to change. We really do start manipulating this dream. You start to realize that, wow, maybe this world isn't as real as I thought it was. Like I thought this was the real world, and then when I dream, like, oh, that's just a dream. But then you start to realize, oh wait, it's both a dream. And if it's both of them are a dream, then if I can make things happen when I'm in my sleeping dream state, then I can make things happen here in my waking dream state. And then the world truly becomes your oyster. But since most of you are service to others, I doubt we'd be like, all right, this world is mine. I'm pretty sure we'd want more expansion for the rest of the planet. We'd be more like, okay, I can manipulate this world. I want to show other people they can manipulate this world. And dude, let's break out of this box. Let's show Gaia. Let's help her. Let's listen to her so she can help us as well. And let's all work together and let's boom. We're breaking out of prison, yo. Prison break at my house. So yeah, we totally change our core beliefs, which definitely changes our energy and changes the reality around us, because we do indeed create our own reality. We're not all experiencing the same reality. Angela says, I'll refer to him as Nomen for reading his message. Is the ancestors are closer this day and age. Even if this generation isn't close, the ancestors and earlier generations are drawing closer to you. Beautiful. And Mike says, it was 2012 when I came alive. Beautiful, beautiful. I would say when I really started to be like, hey, wait a minute, like what's going on here? That was probably around 2015, I would say. Yeah, probably around there after the passing of my cat Presley. And yeah, so 2014, 2015 is, yeah, let's say somewhere around there for me. Angela says, now they adore you and you are joining hands to bring you what you want and need. Don't be afraid to reach for them. Even if you don't have a name for them or you know where their body rests, they still know you and are still around. Beautiful. And Jonathan got for the 5th position, Elder of Fire, King, and Pace. We really control our drive and passion without having to rush and letting go of our need to control in order to let things flow in its own way and pace. Beautiful. Control without control. Exactly. It's like I'm practicing self control to not try to control everything. Like I love that. And also, good message for myself. Good message for myself because sometimes I do fall myself falling into the I just want this to work my way, you know, and then I find just more problems continue to happen. And it's because like my own higher self is like, yo, lady, are you not catching the hint? Like, you're not going to make this work right now. It's best just to chill out. And then I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, I better just chill. All right. Good message. Good message. Okay. Position number 6. How can I nourish this growth? Okay, so how can we nourish this growth at this time? Let's see. Ooh, we have the 10 of stones, also known as the 10 of pentacles or the 10 of pants, as our friend Sherry Bug used to say. Mike says, I've never looked back since that date. Me neither. Me neither. That's amazing. And I wonder, like, for those, you know, as people wake up, you know, basically coming into the realization that, whoa, my soul is talking to me. Whoa, maybe things aren't the way I, you know, was taught that they are. You know, when we come to that awakening state, I wonder how many people go back to the matrix. I would say none, but that would just be my ego talking. But I mean, if we actually tapped in, like, is there anybody that actually is like, whoa, I've decided seeing all of this isn't for me. Like maybe it is like the movie The Matrix where you had what was his name? Cypher. Cypher decided that he wanted to go back to the Matrix. He didn't want to be like totally awake or anything. So I wonder what that is. Like if people do that. That's interesting. Angela said, no one says the only thing we can control is the fact that we can't control anything. All we have free will. All are using it just to watch, mind yourself, and cheer for others. Exactly. And yeah, even though we all create our own realities, we're still kind of meshed in with the realities of others. Like it's a weird thing. It's like everything overlaps. Everything isn't like a clear definition of like this is my reality space and that's your reality space. Like we kind of overlap with one another. And so, yeah, to force control, especially over others, is violation number one of their free will. But also, like it's kind of moot because we can't control others. We can't like really control anything other than our own reality, you know? John says, your scarf looks like a scarf I got with salamanders in it I'm using for my solstice altar cloth. Hey, this actually has not salamanders, but flounders all over it. So yeah, it does have little fishies. Yeah, I have little flounders, but actually, I wonder if we have salamanders on this hill. We have a lot of lizards, so we possibly could. Angela says that card, I love the facial expression. It's that It's like that look your guides give you with the negative self-talk starts. Exactly. When I'm like, oh man, blah, 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 negative, negative. And your higher self and your guides are like, really? Really with that? Yeah, I love it. I love it. Okay, so it was how can I nourish this growth? So let me tap in. Okay, so we can nourish this growth in understanding that as we grow, we help the collective to grow. We are the collective consciousness. Sometimes we feel like we're an island unto ourselves, like, oh, I'm just doing my thing over here. But everything that you think, everything that you believe, everything that you try to heal, or try to push or try to create, that's a part of the collective consciousness. And as a collective, we tap into it during our meditations, during times of inspiration. Anytime we're in tapping into that beautiful source energy that we are, that's that collective energy, that source energy. When we tap into it, all aspects of you are in there. So kind of keep that in mind, that as we grow, as we heal, we are helping others to do the same. There are people out there that are saying, I'm frustrated. I don't know how to heal. I don't know how to work on my shadows. What is a shadow, even? But that information is there because other people are working on it. And when that person is ready, that person will be able to access it through what the work that you have done, all of you, what I've done, all of us. And so we want all those tools to be there for, our fellow human, basically, and animal and plant. They're all a part of it too. So whatever the plants and the trees and the rocks and the elements and the animals, whatever they're working on, is all a part of that collective consciousness of that source energy. And so really showing love for yourself, doing good for you, doing healing for you, um, talking positively about yourself, that's all part of the collective, and we all feel it, in one level or another. I love it. Love it. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back here. Do, do, do. Angela says, flounders start 3D and flatten out and become almost 2D. They're funny fish. Ah, Lily says, my fiance did go back. He has one eye open and both eyes in the matrix. I believe he will figure it out soon and on his own time. Definitely. I think we're all, some people feel, and I've heard this for people I've read for, like they feel like they're off their path if they like feel like they've regressed at some point. And I feel like nothing is really a regression, and you're never off your path. You're always on your path, but everything is just an experience. We attribute positive and negative to that experience, but it is just an experience, and it's just all of its learning, all of its lessons. And so maybe even if, let's say, like with your husband, he opened his eyes, was like, ooh, not ready at this time, closed them. It's still a part of his path. He's still on his path. He's just decided to take a little detour. And so who knows, maybe you might come back. Maybe you want to stay in that path, but it's totally up to him. And I think it's, no journey is going to be one linear, like I woke up and then I just continued and continued and continued. We fall back sometimes. Sometimes we take 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step forward. Who knows? Take a little detour over here, see what's happening here. And that's what makes it unique and pretty cool. And it's all a part of that collective. So we can all access that. Angela says, no one's message to nourish your growth state, your wants and your needs, not just the needs and wants of the world and the collective. You as an individual soul matter. Your wants, needs, and wishes matter. You can still fill other buckets from a dry well state when you want, or you can't fill other buckets from a dry well state. State what you want. Beautiful. Mike's over there giving the thumbs ups. Jonathan said, for the 6th position, 4 of air and change. We need to let our thoughts rest as we go inwards to strip back to our basic self, to embrace growth and change and our transformations and evolve ourselves. Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Stripping everything back till we are, metaphorically speaking, naked. Oh, hello. Who are you? Wow. Holy shiza. There was a beautiful red-tailed hawk that was just gliding past, not like 20 feet from here, like at eye level, my eye level. Like, wow, that was beautiful. It was just this slow coast, just like this. Beautiful red-tailed hawk energy coming in. I love it. I always see red-tailed hawk like when it's time for big changes, especially like mind blown type stuff. So this is great. This is great. And then Jonathan was talking about transformation. Perfect. Perfect. Angela said, use the retrogrades to set intentions. They are like new moon cycles of the solar system, the ideal time for sowing manifestations, while the directs are for harvesting. Beautiful. And John says, expansion and retraction. A flower can't always be in bloom. They bloom in waves. Exactly. And Lily said, so true. Yeah, I mean, and I think it's beautiful and helpful when I notice the seasonal cycles out here. You know, as much as I love the color of, you know, the Apache rose and the globe mallows and the yucca and the daisies, and, you know, when all the berries are on the juniper trees, I love all that stuff. But I know that that can't be all the time. And when the seasons go into rest here, there's still things happening. Nothing is ever dead. It's just a different aspect, you know. And so it helps me to see that within myself. You know, I can't always bloom, and so when I'm not in bloom, I'm at rest like the rest of the world, and there's still things that are happening in that rest state, you know. It's a different aspect of myself. Beautiful. I love that. Angela's like, OMG, wow, that feels like a spirit sign. I was just softly telling Noman my intentions since I have him here. And he stated that I figured take this advice. Nice. And Jonathan said, I understand the idea of turning your back to all the woo woo. I kind of did in my 20s by getting my ears pierced at was it 10 gauge, and found out that the points, or 10 degrees, and found out that the points are the eyes in Chinese ear acupuncture. Oh, oh, wow. That is so cool. The eyes in Chinese acupuncture. That is interesting. I love that. And Mike says that bird saw the beautiful being. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Maybe that's why they say that, I don't know, it could be just a story or a myth, but they say that like pirates at sea, they would often pierce their ears for better vision. I think that's one of the myths. I think there's another reason too, but some of it was for like being able to see more clearly. That's interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's see. Our final question, y'all, is what will radiate between summer and fall? So what will we radiate between summer and fall? Okay, what will we radiate? Let's see. It was just our radiation coming from our heart. It was just my radiation. Okay. Ooh, we have the Nikneven, which is like our high priestess. Oh my gosh, check this out. This card looks just like my guy there. Ah, holy shnikes. That is so cool. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Oh, 10 gauge. Sorry, Jonathan. Blurp. I get it. 10 gauge. The points that most people get their ears pierced are the eye points in ear acupuncture, but going at a 10 gauge totally took these points away. Really? Wow. Dude, that is interesting. Angela says, No man says, fall will bring the harvest. It will bring the cold. It will bring the winds of change and realization. It will bring light and new guides and guardians and illuminations. And John says, To reduce seasickness and as insurance, they'll have funds for a proper burial. Ah, I see. So yeah, it was for sight, for seasickness, and also if it was like, like a gold earring, like I have here, yeah, for a proper burial. Fingers crossed. um, Not just gonna throw me overboard. Mike says, with the sun flashing a lot lately, it will probably be all of us. Probably, probably. Um, and Angela says the balance will be struck. The uh, just served, and those without a voice will be finally heard. Yes. And Lily said, Ooh, so coolio. Definitely. Okay. So, what will we radiate? Let me dive into this one. Oh, okay. Well, booyah. I feel like what they're trying to say is, by doing the suggestions they had here, continuing to work on some of those bigger ego programs where we do our higher self. And so that's what we begin to radiate even more as we're just stepping even further into our truest self. And actually, I feel, and this is just my point of view, that the soul isn't inside of us. I feel like this human vessel is inside our soul. I kind of see it as, when people see auras, and sometimes people expand their auras or they bring their auras in, that energetic field, that is actually our soul. Our soul is massive and we just happen to be in it. And so we're just like accessing, these different parts of the soul. But yeah, we're riding in this little soul. The human eyes have a hard time seeing it sometimes, but that intuition, which is the true sense, accesses it all the time easily. And so, yeah, I feel like we become this bodacious babe here where we are definitely stepping into more of who we really are, that soul, that spirit, that thing that's eternal. Everything else that we define ourselves by, like my hair color, where I live, you know, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at on this earthly plane. All of that is the personality of the soul. And although some of that personality, or sorry, of the ego, some of that personality is also our soul. I feel like that once all of that is shed, then we see who we really are. We are just essence. We are one. We are all. We are everything. And all of these labels that we put ourselves in, these little boxes that we put ourselves within this big box, all of that falls away once the vessel is shed. So beautiful, beautiful. Okay. All right, you guys. Are you ready? We're going to be doing a little arts and crafts today. So let me close this up. I'm just going to move my decks off to the side so I have a bit of room here. Okay, so you wanted a Litha celebration. And yes, we did our Litha spread, but wait, there's more. I want to do a little sewing project. You don't have to be like a seamster or a seamstress, whatever, to be able to create this. You just need some needle, thread, maybe some fabric cut from an old t-shirt, heck, you can even steal some thread from the old t-shirt, so you don't really have to go out and go buy anything. Or if you don't have thread, you could just use glue, tape, whatever you have on hand. Alrighty, you go down there. Yes, okay. All right, I would like to make a fairy dream pillow. As many of you guys were talking about your dreams being very intense lately, sometimes almost prophetic, and sometimes feeling very, very real to you. I want to continue that also with the help of the Fae, which we also are. We're also connected to those elementals. And I want to create this pillow. You can create this dream pillow, hang it from a tree if you wanted to, or you could place it underneath the actual pillow that you sleep on. But I want to employ our plant allies, knowing that our plant allies are also an extension of us, as well as imbuing what we're creating with our own energy and our intention. So you don't have to use the herbs that I'm going to be using. You don't even have to use the fabric or thread that I'm going to be using. This is just to get your creative juices flowing for something that you can create yourself. But I thought it would be kind of fun to do it here with you guys, like a little sewing project. So you could see what I'm actually going to be sleeping with underneath my pillow tonight. So I've been having some pretty interesting dreams. They've all been very adventurous lately. Like I don't know, my dreams have been about like everybody's moving. Like it's like the world stopped. And a lot of I mean, the dreams have been different, but pretty much the same theme of everybody like moving, leaving where they are. Some people like being really unhappy with the change that happens. And sometimes I'm running away from stuff, but not really running away, more like playing hide and go seek and having fun with it. And it's very adventurous. I've had very adventurous dreams, like getting myself into shenanigans and just like having a ball, remembering that I could fly. And so I always fly a lot in my dreams. But yeah, so I want to do that. I want to continue that even more. So I'm going to make a little dream pillow for myself, something for my ego to kind of latch onto while my energy just like puts me into like this really fun dream state. So let's see here. Let's go back. Dur, dur, dur. Angela says, what in the light was Tara? There shimmers behind you. Um, Nothing really. Nothing should be shiny back there. That's interesting. I mean, there's a lantern, but that's off to the side. It's off camera. Very interesting. And just as also, does your skull friend have a name? He is cool. I have not named him yet, actually. He is no name for the moment. Says, I bet he'd give very interesting readings if you tried holding him like I hold the dolls. I bet. It's got a very potente energy, I must say. Lily said, Jonathan, now I'm going to make mental notes. People with gauged ears are wearing glasses because I think a lot do in my experience. Wow. And Jonathan, okay, Jonathan has our last card. Seventh position, temperance and potential. By accepting the dichotomy of reality and how the yin and yang can't survive without each other, then we open our potential to work our alchemy on the world. Ooh, I love that. I love that. Angela says, OMG, we all have the crafting, but I'm sewing bedding for a doll bed, and then I'm going to dress an ancestor doll today. Yay! Sewing peeps! um, I do love to sew. I have some projects lined up. I have a few clothes I have to alter, and I want to make some quivers out of leather for our arrows, for our bows and arrows. So yeah, I got some projects lined up. Mike says, I sleep with crystals under my pillows. Yeah, I mean, currently under my pillow, I have a gold buffalo coin. I have a piece of organite from Kelly, Woo Woo Woman, if you don't know her. I also have a Fenster quartz. And to me, Fenster quartz always connects me to ETs. So I'm like, what the heck? Might as well put that under my pillow. So, so yeah, those are the three that I keep under there. But now we're going to have a little dream pillow as well. Angela says, I dreamt of my dolls walking around my room having tea, but when I awoke, they were all still where I left them. I feel like they do that where they're like, we weren't doing anything. Oh, Jonathan sent a spread that he did today. Oh, I will definitely check that out for sure. Angela said earlier there was little shimmers. Maybe it was light in the curtains, but I thought I saw something. Do you and James make your own arrows? We do not. We're not that good yet. One day I would like to make my own arrow, maybe using some of the arrowheads that we have around on this property. That would be pretty cool. Angela says I have all the Black Dream catheters with a gray tassel and hanging over my bed. Wow. It says, I bought him a Hobby Lobby. His name is Shadow. He was the only one of his kind in a sea of rainbow dream catchers. He seemed lonely. Oh, I see. Dreamcatcher. We'll have a black dreamcatcher with a gray tassel hanging over my bed. Oh, I see. Jana says that perhaps it's the screen rippling in the wind that maybe is causing some of the reflection, but could be, or it could be the spirits just playing tricks as they do, as they do. Okay, so before I do any sort of magical crafting, I like to cast a beautiful energetic circle, which I would like to do. So let me just grab my notes for that. Let's see, we'll put this right here. And we're gonna grab my guy. Okay, so let me show you guys my guy. So he is a roe deer. He was made on one of our local reservations. He has turkey feathers that have been dyed to look like eagle feathers. And he's kind of wrapped in leather here. He has a creation story right there in this like mandala. And then we have a dream catcher right here with a beautiful arrowhead, and then some horsehair kind of on the back and also right here. And then he has some other feathers. Oops, now I've touched the ceiling. But yeah, he's a rather large staff. So the rest is like horsehair and feather. But we're going to be using him to cast our circle as he is my talking stick. And he is a very protective energy. He does hang out in our cabin here, just kind of keeping it safe and everything. So, all right. Maybe I'll keep the camera pointed upwards so we can keep the focus on him. Angela said, ooh, he is handsome. And John says, or a spirit had a specific message for Angela, perhaps. And Angela says, ooh, that could be, it gives a shiny effect when it moves. So it looks pretty cool. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So we get ourselves nice and grounded. Just breathing in, breathing out, bringing my awareness to my breath, imagining roots forming from underneath my feet, moving down into Mama Gaia. As also I connect my soul to the soul of all is one, source energy. Okay, and now I'm going to have him faced north. And what we're going to do is we're just going to move him in a beautiful clockwise circle, imagining a beautiful blue energy surrounding and protecting all of us while we create our little magical craft today. So starting at the north, and then we will move east, so on and so forth. This is the boundary of the circle. Around me, above me, and below me, as a sphere is the circle cast and consecrated to aid me in my craft. All right. All right. Are you ready, buddy? Let's do it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being here, honoring us with your presence as we create this dream pillow today. Okay. I'm going to put him back over here. Oops. There we go. Okay. All right. He should be okay there. All righty. All right. I feel ready to go. Let's do this. Lily said he is amazing. Wow. Love, love. Mike's like, that's as tall as a totem pole. Yeah, it's almost as tall as me, so it's almost 5 feet 8 inches tall. Lily's like, ooh, she came out for me this week. Yes, yes. Okay, so let me put this aside and let me show you what I'm working with. Okay, so to make this little dream pillow, you could use the colors of Litha, which would be like lavender or yellow or blue. And actually, I'm going with blue. I mean, I'm uh, although I have a much heritage in my human vessel. Part of that is Pacific Islander. So to kind of honor some of that, I want to use this beautiful fabric actually that comes from Hawaii. So so yeah, I want to use this with all the dolphins and the hibiscus flowers and everything. Jonathan said, "Amazing staff." Yes, thank you, thank you. He's pretty old too. He's antique, so I have to be like very gentle with him. But yeah, I want to use this fabric. I'm going to cut two rectangles out of here to make a little pillow. I would like to use red thread, and the reason I want to use red is because I see red thread is being like the connection of all. Part of that is part of Native American stories is connecting everything and everyone. And so I would like to use the red thread for that. I have my needle here. I have some scissors. So we'll do that. And then we're going to fill the dream pillow with some herbs, some particular herbal allies. And for that, I am going to be using mugwort. I'm going to be using bay leaf, and I also want to use lavender. So lavender is really good for love. It's good for sleep. It's good for protection and peace. And that's kind of what I want to help to imbue. Mugwort is sometimes used for like a flying potions or flying spells. So I want that like deep, like lucid dreaming. I want it to be able to aid me with that. But it's also really good for protection, while you sleep, making sure that you stay in that higher self. And then bay leaf here is really good for healing, psychic power, protection, good for vision. So you want some very vivid, intense dreams. Bay leaf is really good for that. Okay, so I think maybe I'll point the camera down so that we can kind of create this together. um, oh, Sukbir. Hey, I will be doing my super chats and super stickers at the end of the chat today. So we still have our arts and crafts that we'll be doing. Remember that we were talking about for the prediction peak for this year, that it is very difficult to do predictions when it comes to digital currency because it is highly manipulated. If it were something natural, like relationships are natural, like our lives are natural, it's much more easy to kind of pinpoint the various timelines that we could go on. It's a lot harder for something that is manipulated by the matrix. So we could do a little look into it, but it's a lot more difficult type of reading. But we'll take a look after our arts and crafts section today. Let's see. Jonathan says, I love that fabric. I can see it making a great Hawaiian shirt. And you know what? I did make a Hawaiian shirt out of it. I've had this fabric for a really long time. I had this fabric, when did I have it? Like 2004. It's when I was in grad school. Actually, after I graduated grad school, I had moved to Orange County, and I was working at a bamboo store with a lady who ended up becoming like my Canadian mom. Like she was pretty cool. She owned this like bamboo store, and there was somebody in there that was looking for like a custom Hawaiian shirt, and I said I could sew, so I ended up like making him a Hawaiian shirt. I bought the fabric. That was the fabric I bought. And because there was like a little shop next door that had everything that was like from Hawaii. It was actually run by a nice Hawaiian lady, and yeah, so it was made into a shirt at some point. um, Lily says, did you know that lavender is also well for invisibility from your enemies? Ooh, very nice. Sukbir is saying, okay, that's fine. Okay, oh, excellent. Angela says, back. I had to find some hydrations. All right. So yes, Sukbir, I will definitely take a look into your reading after our creation. Jonathan says mugwort is also good for remembering your dreams. When I was a kid, we used to pick fresh mugwort to put into our pillowcases. Oh my gosh, that is so cool. This is crazy to think 2004 was 20 years ago. Dude, holy shit. It was 20 years ago. I feel like I was in college like 5 years ago. Like, I feel like it was, wow, wow. Hmm, my, how time flies. And just like time crisis. I know I'm like, oh my gosh, what time are we in? We're having a time shift right now. Dude, so yeah, this fabric is at least 20 years old. That's cool. Nice. Okay, so let's put our camera down. Where are you going, Mr. Thread? I don't think so. Okay, I'll put that there. All right, so I'm gonna take my fabric. Ooh, Angela says that her birthday is about 3 weeks away. Yay! Well, definitely let me know the week of your birthday so we can sing you a little happy birthday. All right. Oh, wow. I truly haven't opened it since I made this man's shirt. I have like all this fabric that I just like stow away. Angela says, and I didn't realize it till yesterday. My birthday is the 11th of July for anyone who wonders. Ooh, 7-Eleven. Hey, 7-Eleven. Okay, so I am going to, I don't want to make it too big. Maybe I'll make it about this big. But I'm going to cut 2 pieces. So I'm going to fold it just like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm not like doing any sort of real measuring. I'm not doing it like if I was actually making a shirt or something really nice. It just needs to contain our herbal babies. So maybe I'll do like this. Okay. Well, there we go. All right, so we have a little pouch like this. We're gonna sew up the ends and leave one end open because we wanna put our herbs in there, and then we'll sew that up. Okay, so let me fold this fabric back up. Can't believe it's been 20 years. That is a mind trip. Oops. It is gorgeous fabric though. And I have wanted it to use it for other things, but it's just like, it's so beautiful. Sometimes I don't want to use it, but we'll see. Okay, and off you go. Off you go. All right, so first I'm gonna turn this inside out because I want to sew it inside out first, just to make the stitching invisible. You guys don't have to be all bougie like that. That's just me. So I'm gonna put those scissors there. I'm gonna grab my handy dandy red thread, like so. Like so, get it? um, let's see. Angela says, and then I realized, I was like, whoa, where's the year? Half of it went somewhere and we didn't notice. I know, right? Jonathan says, I'm tempted to turn my Hawaiian shirts into a dream pillow. Dude, maybe one of your old Hawaiian shirts that you're not using anymore. Perhaps. Um, Lily is wondering about James if he will get one as well. I would like to have him pick out fabric for maybe his own dream pillow, because this is the one I'm picking out for me. And I think I don't know if he's like too into blue. I know he really loves green. So I might have to like have him choose from some of my more like green fabrics or purple. He really loves green or purple. But yeah, I want him to choose his own fabric. These are the herbs I'm choosing, but I would want him to kind of pick his own herbs, and then I'll sew it up for him, you know? So yeah, good question. Okay, so let's grab our needle here. Let's use you. You seem like a good one. Okay. And we have our little needle threader, because needle threaders. Okay, let's grab some of this. That should be plenty. Do a little snip. Place that there. I guess this is like a very meditative live chat it's turned into now. Sewing with Tara. That'll be my other channel someday. All right, and then we pull our little threader through. We have threaded the eye of the needle. Alrighty, and then I want to put at this end a little knot so that our thread doesn't fall out. I like to make like triple knots. I don't know, I just like things in 3s and 4s sometimes. But I like 3 for unity and creativity, so that's why I'm putting 3 knots at the end of my thread. So even that is considered somewhat magical, I guess. I'll just snip the end of that. Boop, boop. Okay, so we have our needle and thread ready to go. It's got a little knot at the end. Let's see, let's go here. Lily says, great idea, Jonathan. And Umbra says, that's for herbs for rolling and smoke. The herbs that I'm going to be using is actually for the dream pillow here. You could smoke those herbs. I don't know about bay leaf, but I know you can smoke mugwort and lavender. They're pretty good for herbal smokes. I've actually used them in my Spirit Rising blend that I have on my website, actually. Angela says, I turned one of my old shirts into a doll gown. Ooh, you should add these to your store. I could actually. That would be fun. Johnson's wife is so sensitive. If I have a crystal or herb in bed, she's affected, so I need to be careful. Well, then maybe perhaps it's something you guys get to make together. And Angela said, sewing is so meditative. When I work on my doll gowns, I sit there talking to them, or I'm just blanked out. I was so somewhere else. A visitor would have been waiting and startled me, and I squealed. Yeah, dude, I mean, I try to tell James about like how meditative it is. It's like I love sewing because, you know, I'm pretty sure I have like ADHD or something, but like I'm a very hyperactive type person. My mind is always working. I'm always everywhere all at once. And so to just kind of sit down and I have to focus on my stitches is just, it's good for me, I think. It helps to calm my energy. It helps to ground me. I guess I don't want my stitches to be too small. So yeah, now we're just sewing. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing here. The stitches don't even have to be all, they don't have to be anything great. This isn't like going on display anywhere. This is just going under our pillow. So just a simple straight stitch. I suppose you could do a whip stitch if you wanted to. I guess if you wanted to do it even faster, you would do it on your serger or your sewing machine, which I could, but I think there's something to be said about things being made by hand, because it just takes more time, more energy, more focus, more of your intention is going into it. And it's just very grounding, very soothing. And you know that every stitch that you put in there was a piece of you. So again, like I said, I'm using the red thread because of just the mythos that the color red and the stories of the red thread being connected to all of humanity and all of creation, that there's the thread that connects us all. It's in the myth of the Mayas. It's also in many Native American cultural myths about the red thread or the red cord. And red being the blood of life, you know. So, all right, halfway done with the first side here. So I'm kind of making like medium-sized stitches, I suppose. So people are probably popping into the live chat now like, what is happening? I don't hear anything. We're sewing. We're sewing a little magical dream pillow, but also I want to bring in the fae while I sleep. So that's why I'm going to be filling it with these certain type of herbs, not only for sleep, but also for the fae. And if you wanted to and you didn't want to put it under your pillow, you can hang it near your favorite tree, or a tree that you feel like the fairies and the elementals love to hang out in. For me, that tree would be probably that massive tree off to my right. I call that Anna's tree because the remains of a Native American woman and her whole family are by that tree. And that's also where the Anna's hummingbirds like to hang out. But I also have a hummingbird feeder there. But the reason I put the feeder there is because they like to hang out there. So there you go. All right, so we have one side stitched. Okay, we're gonna do otro lado, the other side. Ahora. Okay. Here we go again. Okay, and then let me just take a look at some of the comments here. Jonathan says, I have to go get my Father's Day started with my husband and son. This was fun. Thanks, Tara. I work in multiples of 3, another Chinese medical philosophy thing. I hope you have a beautiful day, Jonathan. Love you lots. Sending you and your husband a very, very happy Father's Day. Lily says, gotcha. I can't tell you're a pro. I would have been there for a minute or 3 trying to thread the needle with my tongue sticking out with one eye open. Nice. And she's also wishing Jonathan a happy Father's Day. Angela said, it's also so connective. I fixed my family quilt. It had a tear and I just felt more connected to it. I use mostly white thread, but have been starting at red thread lately. Blessings for the face, so much love. Lily's like sewing and Spanish class. Exactly. All right, clase de español. Everybody, todos estudiantes, siéntate. You know. Angela said, blessings, Jonathan. Blessed Father's Day to you. May all be well for you and your family and for you. Beautiful. I remember when I was in high school, I took Spanish class because, well, I mean, my nana spoke to me in Spanish, but she spoke to me basically in Spanglish. So it was like it wasn't full on Spanish. It was like a mix. My dad, he didn't want me to learn Spanish like he did because um, he remembers being held back in school, but that was back in like the 1940s, back when they were like English only. So he was still of that old mindset. He thought that like being bilingual would confuse me and I might be held back a grade or something. So, but I grew up with so much language anyway. I ended up just kind of picking it up anyway. And I still took Spanish class just because I wanted to make sure I was speaking like proper Spanish because there was a lot of slang. You know, I grew up by the border, so there was a lot of slangs like Mexican Spanish. Uh, and then when I went to college, I took Spanish in college as well. I wanted to be able to read and write in Spanish and not just speak it. But yeah. And plus, it made it easier to talk to all my friends because literally every one of my friends spoke Spanish. And sometimes I remember when I was younger, like when I was in elementary school, my friends would tease me and they would speak in like full Spanish instead of Spanglish. And they'd be like, Tara, you gotta learn. They're like, come on, like your nana speaks Spanish. And I was like, I know. I was like, but my dad wants me to speak English only. But yeah, I mean, I picked up a lot from everyone. I don't too much get to speak it much anymore, but what's cool now is that James's mother is from Bolivia, and so sometimes she will speak in Spanish to James. James knows Spanish pretty well. He can hold a whole conversation. Um, but now it's like, I get to practice with her, so it makes me feel good. I get to use my Spanish again. But in my family, yeah, my tias, my aunties, they spoke Tagalog and Spanish. So I got a mixture of like Spanish and Tagalog. On my mom's side, my grandfather would, speak a little bit of German here and there. So I picked up some German. So yeah, I guess I grew up with like a bunch of different languages. And then I'm always curious about language. So I actually ended up studying them so that I could learn more than just a few words. Uh, let's see. And then when I became a teacher, my first teaching job was EL, which is English language learners. And from my area, most of the English language learners were refugees from Iraq. And so they spoke Arabic, and I wanted to learn Arabic. So I started teaching myself like furiously, just trying to understand Arabic. And then my students, they were so cool. They were like, "Hey, like Miss, like you teach us Arabic. You teach us English. We teach you Arabic." I was like, "Okay." And actually, I got pretty good. We started holding conversations. Like, I don't know. For me, I love language. I pick it up really easily, and yeah, I would say that Spanish and Arabic were my favorite languages. Árabe. Guys, we're almost to the end here. We're going to get ready to add our herbs, which makes me really excited. This is like kind of fun. Maybe I should have like a little sewing channel where it's like sewing with Tara and we get to chat about who knows what, just random chats. Okay, so here we go. We have two sides done. We have this side is open. I might sew it a little bit up to here just so I could stuff the herbs in, and then we'll sew it up the rest of the way. And then we will have our dream pillow. But let's look at what you guys were saying here. Angela said, I feel my ancestors more when I sew. They made the quilt, made embroidered hankies. And whenever I sew, I feel like I have 2 or 3 gazes over my shoulder. I like it. Lily said, ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? I speak Spanish, but most people seem to remember that from Spanish class. Yeah. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? For us, it was, Señora, ¿dónde está la, what was it? Sorry. Yeah, it was Señora, ¿dónde está el baño? And she was like, we were always talking about the baño. Umbra's like, tienes muy buena pronunciation. Thank you. And saludadonte desde Santiago de Chile. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. That is so cool. I think Chile would be beautiful to go visit someday. Lila said, yes, Tara, that is such a great idea. Or tell folks stories. I would watch. Just weird story time while we sew. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think back to Spanish class, but now that I think about it, wow, that was really a long time ago. We had Miss Senora Ortega was my Spanish teacher, and she was always so excited. She was always dancing. She'd come into class and she's like, "Baila, baila, estudiantes, baila, baila," you know. And she was like, "Okay." And then we were always looking at. We had to take out our libros and turn to palabras nuevas dos, página, like I don't know, like 12 or something, you know. It was always palabras nuevas dos. And then we had to listen to the cassettes. There was like how to sing in Spanish. Oh, we got to put on Spanish plays or plays in Spanish. So like we got to make up our own scenes. And of course, me and my friends were just we're class hams, we're class clowns. We love making people laugh. So we had to write this whole like skit in Spanish. And we made it so like it was at a restaurant and somebody was choking on a steak bone because that's all they had. It was like this huge, like it was a dog bone actually. It was like steak bone for a dog, and we had to pretend like this guy ate it and he's choking, and we're trying to like get somebody who knows how to do CPR, but we pretended that some people in the restaurant didn't know Spanish, and like this guy is dying, and the teacher's like, "Oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my Dios," you know, like, yeah. And she was like, "Well, that was a little more than I was asking for in your skit. It only had to be a couple of minutes, not 15 minutes, you know." And I was like, "But Senora Ortega, I was trying to get into character." It's like, you know, you have to get into the mind of the man who is choking. You have to get into the mind of the waiter. And she's like, "Oh my goodness." She said, "Tu estudiantes." Oh. Um, let's see, who did I have after that? Oh, I had Mr. Rame. Mr. Rame, I had him my junior year, and we used to call him the Mexican Mr. Bean. He really did look like Mr. Bean, like seriously. He was like, he could have been Mr. Bean's double. And I remember we were like, "Mr. Rame, you look like Mr. Bean." And he's like, "Who is Mr. Bean? Is he a frijole?" We're like, "No, not Mr. Bean, like a frijole bean. Like, no, this is a man's name. It's a TV show. Like, how do you not know Mr. Bean?" He's like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, so he gladly accepted the title. He was like, you know, other teachers would come in and he'd be laughing. He was like, "Hey, my students, they're calling me this Mr. Bean. What is this Mr. Bean?" The teachers would be like, "Oh my God, these kids." Okay. All right. So I have left a little opening here now, and we are going to fill this with herbs. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of leave my needle here so I don't lose it. Yeah. And we're going to fill this little dream pillow. All righty. Let's see. And Lily's like, "Novelas?" Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. We watched whatever telenovelas. We watched. We listened to like these like old things on tape. And it was like de colores. We had to sing that song. We have "Que tal" was like, it was like another song. It was like "Que tal en Estados Unidos? Que tal?" Oh my gosh, I remember all of this stuff. Un hombre is saying, "Sí, en Chile tienes la cordillera de los Andes, el valle de Elqui, el desierto de Atacama y la Patagonia y muchos mariscos para disfrutar en la costa." Ooh. So she's talking about all the like beautiful places that they have in Chile, or in Chile, and in the and all like the fish and the fruit and all basically all the stuff along the coast and everything is. I mean, I've seen so many pictures of Chile, and I've wanted to go there. I wanted to go to Peru. I do want to go to Bolivia, where James's family is from. You know, so yeah, I definitely I want to make my way down, like past North America, obviously. I want to get into Central and South America. That would be amazeballs. Okay, so I would like to take my bay leaf, and we're going to put that in here. And actually, I have some crushed bay leaf, and I think that might work better for this dream pillow so it doesn't like poke me, just in case my head is actually laying on it. So my intention is for deeper, more prophetic dreams. Lila is like, "Bienvenido, Chile." Welcome, welcome. Okay. So now I'm just slowly pouring it into this pillow here. I think I can pour this whole thing. That might be okay. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, I'm going to pour this whole packet of bay leaf in there. All right, excellent. Excelente. Okay, so we have some bay leaf in here. Now I would like to put some mugwort. So let's do that. Everything smells so good. I dig it. Okay, so we're gonna stick our mugwort pieces into here. Maybe a little bit of mugwort. A little bit more, actually, I should say. Okay. All right, that should do us on the mugwort. And now the rest of the way, I want to fill it with lavender. Now what you could do on like an average size piece of bay leaf, like a unbroken leaf, you could write your intentions if you wanted to. For me, I'm just going to put the energetic intention. All right, so ooh, I love the smell of my lavender, freshly opened. Oh my goodness, smells so good. Okay, so now we're going to fill you with lavender. All right, governor. I was just thinking of like my students that were from Turkey, they were from Iraq, they were from Afghanistan, and I used to listen to this like CD, like helping me with my Arabic. It was Syrian Arabic. Um, and I would practice on the students, and then they would help me with my pronunciation, and then they would help me with like more vocabulary, and of course I would help them with English, and it was just so fun. And so one of the like the sentences, like the first learning sentences is like صباح الخير يا أخ. It's a صباح الخير Ani. And it's like was it كيفك كيفك يا أخ أنا منيحة وأنتي or أنا منيح. And he would say أنا منيحة. And then they would ask you if you are Amerikie, if you are American. Gosh, it's been a while since I spoke Arabic. Holy cow. Has that been 20 years? No, that was like not that long ago. All right, we're almost full of lavender. This is freaking awesome. This smells so good, by the way. I wish there was smell-o-vision so you could smell this pillow. All right, a little more will do us, and then we're gonna sew up the rest of this pillow, and we'll be done. It'll have the energy of the Fae who want to come visit us, plus all the energy for some great dreams. All righty. All right. And here we are. It's nice and full. Mostly of lavender, but also bay leaf and mugwort. This is amazeballs. Maybe I'll put just a little bit more lavender. I want to make it nice and full. There we go. All right. Oh, by the way, I don't think I told you what I was saying in Arabic. So we say sabah khair is like morning, the day, and then the person would reply sabah nur is good the light. So good the day and then good the light is like the direct translation. And then there was for non-morning it would be not sabah khair, it would be Masah, yeah. And then Masahel Noir. Yeah, that was it. Now that I remember it. Wow, it's been a while. Okay, so we are going to sew up the rest of this. And then when you say min fadlik or min fadlak, min fadlik is what you would ask for a woman. Min fadlak is how are you doing? Is how you'd ask for a man. Okay. We're just gonna go like this. All right, sewing it up the rest of the way. Here we go. I guess I should have turned the fabric the other way around, but I kind of like the faded fabric. I think it's kind of cool. And sometimes some Hawaiian shirts are done that way. Actually, traditional Hawaiian shirts where like the most colorful part is on the inside and it's the more faded part that's on the outside. So that's what I've done with this pillow inadvertently. But whatevs, yo, whatevs. That's right. I was going to turn it right side out and then I was going to add my herbs. But you know what? It seems like this is the way Spirit wants it to be done. So who am I to argue? Who am I really to argue? See, what other words did I pick up from my students? Oh, when they'd say masaha, masaha. That's when they're asking to borrow an eraser. Ish is like be quiet or shut up. Ish, ish. Sometimes like Ani is here, but also like to say a girl, like Ani, Ani, Ani. Okay, let's see. Come on, thread. You can make it. There we go. All right, we almost have the last bit all sewed up here. I just want to make it nice and tight because I don't want the herbs falling out really. I think it's kind of cool with the red thread showing, actually, now that I think about it. That's why it had to be this way. I see. See, sometimes Spirit knows more than my ego. Actually, that's 100% of the time. Okay, now I'm going to make a nice knot to finish up our stitches here. Okay, I'm going to run this through like so. Okay, put my little needle over here. I'm going to chop this down to size. Put that like that. All right, and I'm going to make a knot. Yeah, when I used to teach, I always stood at my door every morning. And the students, like throughout the years, they said I was the only teacher that greeted them when they came into the classroom. And I said, well, who wouldn't want to greet you? I said, it's a beautiful day. And I said, you should be welcomed into the classroom. And they were like, not every teacher thinks that way. And I just thought that was so strange because to me, it's a no brainer. You always invite the children into the classroom. I always stood at my door and, you know, I made sure I got everything I needed to get done before class started so that I wasn't doing it while the kids were coming in. I felt like it was good for them to be able to see me. I give them a smile. I acknowledge them. I call them by name. And I, you know, wish them good morning. So sometimes I would say, good morning, sabah al khair, buenos dias. Hello, everybody coming in. All right, so here we go. This is our dream pillow. All right. Now the camera is up. All right. So we have our beautiful dream pillow. I'm going to put this under my pillow at night. It's filled with tons of lavender, mugwort, and bay leaf. So it'd be really good. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Oh my gosh. I'm just going to be like huffing this the rest of the chat. I'm like, but yeah, it has the beautiful red thread that connects us all. And so I could put this underneath my pillow. And I'd love to make one for James too. He just has to pick out his fabric and the herbs that he wants. But there you go. And I suppose you can decorate it even more. I guess you could even have put a crystal inside, like maybe a little quartz for amplification. I mean, the ideas are endless. You could do a little embroidery here if you wanted to, if you were extra bougie and extra fancy. And if you didn't know how to do embroidery, you could always put a iron-on patch here. Sometimes they have lots of different cool patches, like little frogs or a rainbow or maybe a little fairy person. Yeah, so whatever you guys want to do, but this is a wonderful thing to do during Litha, because Litha is about the dream world. It's about like the in between times. It's about connecting to the elements in nature and especially the fairies at this time. You could, like, if you were going to put this in a tree, like put another piece of thread and just like, or string or whatever, and hang it from a tree. You could also leave some offerings of honey, of milk, maybe some grain bread at this time underneath trees. For me, I just leave my food scraps, and that's just kind of for the forest. It's for the trees. It's for whatever little animal wants to have it. But yeah, I mean, there you go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. Like I said, I'm just gonna keep huffing it. Let's see. Let's go back here. I missed your comments. Lily says, intention for mugwort in case someone who is learning. Ah, yes, set intentions for some mugwort. So the mugwort is more for like the having very vivid dreams, having very like where you're aware in your dreams. Um, Also flying. Oh my gosh, it's Miss Squirrel's baby. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. She is having so many babies, you guys. But yeah, so with mugwort, you could definitely place your intention of like, I want to have deeper dreams. I want to have more prophetic dreams, or I want to solve this in my dream, or I would like to work on this healing in my dream state. Very good to place that intention into your mugwort. John said, is there a good substitute for lavender? Um, I would say anything that you feel comfortable with. I would put maybe jasmine. Jasmine doesn't really, especially if it's dried jasmine. Dried jasmine has less of a scent than like fresh jasmine, which is just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, if people are really sensitive to scent, I would say to put dried roses or dried uh, jasmine, or if you have flowers that grow wild in your area that maybe don't have too much scent, especially when dried, and you're very like sensitive to that, you could put that in. Or if it's not the smell that you're most sensitive to, but maybe the energy, I would say jasmine has a very light type energy, at least to me. And daisy's really good. Um, Lily says, I only remember the bad words in Arabic. I worked with many people who spoke Arabic. Dude, I think that's how we learn any language, is bad words first. Lily said rose and jasmine, maybe, yes. And blue lotus flower. I love blue lotus. I love it for herbal smokes, but I also love it in tea. Mike says, I wish I was the size of a thumb so I could sleep on it. I've wished this many times. I wish that I was this big because there would be so many cool things I'd be like playing with. Like the stones would be boulders and they would be so cool. Um, John's like, when is a string not a string? When it's a knot. Exactly. Lily's saying it came out great. Thank you. Kayla says it is beautiful. Nancy says lovely. And John says he does love jasmine. So excellent. All right. All right. Well, we've come to the portion of our chat where we have super chats and super stickers. If you guys are interested, I will use the Thelema Tarot, which James gifted me for my birthday. And I know Sukbir was first. He was looking for us to maybe tap into Bitcoin and just kind of anything that we can gather from its peak this year. Even though keeping in mind that it is highly manipulated by the matrix, we'll do our best to just tap into its natural flow. And that's as best as we can do. But let's go ahead and do that. But if there's anybody else that would like super chats and super stickers, now is the time. And then we will go on into our guided meditation. I'll make sure that we do a nice Litha meditation. I'll ask my higher self to take over and do that because My higher self does better meditations than I do. So, all right. Sukbir, Sukbir. Let's take a look at possible, possible energy for the Bitcoin peak this year. And as we know, if we're going to talk about monies, um, silver went crazy, copper is going crazy. So the precious metals market, people are really, really buying into the precious metals. We noticed that with the with gold, China is buying up like all the gold it can get its hands on right now for, I guess, whatever it is they're working on, which has driven up the price of gold. Um, there's a lot more people that are buying solar panels, and solar panels are made with silver, which I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, wow. So, like, there's silver all up in our solar panels. But the great majority of solar panels are made in India, and India uses a lot of silver for its panels. So, because they're producing a lot more panels, it's also driving up the cost of silver. So, if you were looking into maybe getting a precious metal, gold or silver would be a good choice. I hear that copper is also on the rise. We are the copper state here in Arizona. So I do find bits and pieces of copper in our rocks around here, which is pretty cool. Plus, James loves to wire wrap in copper because it is a good conductor. But because it is a good conductor, it's used a lot in industry. But now we're finding silver is used a ton in industry, like not just like silver jewelry and things like that, but it's used a lot in this world for the things that we use. Gold as well, but silver's a lot less expensive technically than gold, so that's why it's used. But they both have very good conductive properties, like literally speaking, not just energetically speaking. Gold has better properties, I would say, in conducting energy, like as far as like physical 3D stuff, than silver, but they're both pretty good. Okay, so soup beer, let's take a look here. Ooh, oof, we have the 10 of swords. Let's tap into this one. Okay, so I'm more tapping into, instead of the natural energy of Bitcoin, which it's been, it has its ups and downs. And if it were natural, then yes, it would be on more of a slow, steady rise with its little dips in between. But because it is highly manipulated, that's actually what I tapped into, is what is the matrix hoping to do with Bitcoin? And it seems like it's not just Bitcoin, but a lot of the digital currencies. They're looking to transmute that into more of putting that into the one currency for like people around the world, like if we could all be on a digital currency. And so it seems like how people have been making money, in terms of Bitcoin and all the, the other ways people have been, doing their investments, that they are wanting to bring that market down, because they want to create some sort of collapse. I mean, this is their wish list. It's their Amazon wish list. Doesn't mean they're going to get it. I'm just tapping into what they wish. And what they wish is to bring a collapse to that digital currency, to pricing out precious metals, to basically destroying the economies. You might be wondering, why would countries want to destroy their own economies? And it's because then, if you cause a problem, you can also create the answer. So if there's a problem and everybody's like, oh no, we need help, and then the governments come in after they've destroyed it and they've been like, hey, we have the answer, one world currency. How about it, people? So just a little heads up on that. So definitely continue to use your own intuition, in terms of your investment. If it feels like maybe now's the time for me to pull out, then definitely do so. If you feel like maybe you want to hang in, a little bit longer, see where it goes, or maybe just pull out some of it partially, definitely follow your own intuition, but just know what their plans are. They want to kind of crush the digital currency so that they can create their own. So just know that. Okay. Oh, wow. We have some more questions here. Okay, so Supir says last one, please. Can Scotty AI reach point 20 cents this year? Again, that's a really hard prediction to do because, like I said, it's manipulated. So even if it could do that on its own, they could possibly like make sure that that doesn't happen. So it kind of goes off the other reading, but we'll take a look. And also we have our buddy John. So John, let me know what your question is as well. But Sukbir, we'll go ahead and pull a card here. And we have Knight of Pentacles. All right, well, we did pull a Pentacles card, so let's dive into this one. Okay, so Superior, naturally speaking, if there was no manipulation, naturally speaking, it would be on its move towards what you were saying. So it would move towards that. If if it finally gets to that or doesn't, it would be more in the terms of what the matrix or the controllers are wanting for Bitcoin. So I would say, naturally speaking, it is moving in that direction to what you were asking. If that comes to fruition is dependent on what the matrix wants to do, and I don't think the matrix wants much to succeed right now. I think they want to like play with people's emotions and get everybody like yay, and then crush people, because that's what they like to do. They like to manipulate not only the money market, but they like to manipulate humans. They like to manipulate our emotions and how we feel. They like to get people in our root chakras instead of our heart chakras. So just kind of keep that in mind. All righty. And thank you, by the way. All right, our buddy John says he wants to go with a general reading today. So let's tap into John's higher self. Okay, John, I don't know why, but when I tapped into your higher self, I was seeing like a Robin Hood character, like going through the forest, like, I'm Robin Hood. I steal from the rich and give to the poor. So I don't know. I just saw this like men in tights, like a Robin Hood character, like if you were like bounding through the forest, but more like Elvin, I guess. So I guess you'd be more like Peter Pan than Robin Hood. Yeah, let's go with Peter Pan. So yeah, it's more of a Peter Pan character because I saw like the pointy, like elvish ears. Maybe that's the energy you're embodying today, but we'll see. Oh, hello, wind. Did I not greet you this morning? Wow, the wind is knocking over our wood. That's interesting. All right. John says he just watched The Princess Bride. Oh my gosh. Yes. Princess Bride, one of my favorite films of all time. Sometimes you have to watch out for RUSs, rodents of unusual size. But yeah, the guy that is the main character in Princess Bride is also the main character in Men in Tights. So that is interesting. Okay. P.S. I used to have a crush on him. I was like a teenager. I was like, oh my God, he's so dreamy. All right. General message for John. What does John need to know? Okay. Ooh, the devil, el diablo. John's like, I don't even think they exist. What are RUSs? Okay, I was gonna say something. Okay, but let's dive into this first. Tricky. Alrighty. So, your higher self wants to give you a little heads up about what I was talking about earlier in the chat, about like things coming up for people. So whether it was like a physical ailment that was coming up or an issue with another person or something, but it's a little bit more than usual. So it's more like a tower moment, or even like a 10 of wands moment for a lot of people. For some people it's like the death card, where there's just like a lot of change, and some of it's been really uncomfortable for people. But some of it is the higher self wanting to show you, how much you've changed and grown. Some of it is the ego wanting to keep you in your root chakra. So this is just a heads up that the ego is getting very crafty, because as our spirit grows, so does the ego. So it kind of grows right along with it, meaning in intensity, because it doesn't want to be released. It doesn't want to not be a part of you, because that's its whole programming. I am a part of John. I cannot leave John. John is my human. Like, I am meant to be his program. So the more you heal and you try to release that, the more it's going to try to fight back. But of course, the more we heal, the more it can't fight back. Its claws start to like diminish. So just know that a lot of the healing that you've been doing has been some really big stuff. And so James and I actually were just talking about this because we had a very similar reading for ourselves. So I think you're in a very similar energy where as you've been healing and growing, the ego feels very threatened. And so it's trying any way it can to get you into more of a logic mind, more of a this makes sense, more of a scientific mind, get you basically out of the heart space, get you in your root, anywhere but the heart, anywhere but your intuition. And in doing that, um, it's trying to trick you back into being more of your ego than more your higher self. And so just become, as best you can, more discerning on who is actually speaking, who is in the driver's seat. Is it the ego or is it the higher self? And I know that you're very good at distinguishing between the two voices, but the voice of that ego is trying its hardest to sound just like your higher self. So that's where meditation comes in, that's where grounding comes in. So oh wow, do we have a neighbor coming in through here? Let's see. Um, Mike says thank you today. Much love to you. Pretty great. I'm sure if I do anything, I'm sure it would do anything to stay with me. Yeah, the ego's like, John's a great guy. I don't want to leave John. He's my man. Seriously though. Okay. Let's see. Lily says, can you tell me how the trees or the land spirits here in my area are doing or feeling? Any messages? Definitely. Let's tap in. What is going on out there? I think that's our neighbor riding around. Ooh. Okay. Okay, Lily, just as I'm tapping in, the land, oh, sorry. It was like, so the land and the trees were saying that you're just more apt to see like 4D, basically, like the things that are inside of the trees, in the land, on the land. They're in the 4D realm because of where you've gotten your frequency to. So, like if you see things out of the corner of your eye, or I thought I saw something in the tree, or I thought I saw something come out of the tree, but then you like maybe just brush it off. Yeah, the land and the trees are just letting you know that you've gotten to a place where you can really start to see what's like really going on, like what's like attached to us. And once you get to that place, then you start to really see what we look like energetically. Like, what does a tree look like without its vessel? What does the land look like without the physical Gaian vessel? So that's pretty cool. But let's pull a card here and see what other message they have. But that's pretty cool. You're starting to see the 4D surrounding the land and the trees. So not just the spirits, but like, like human spirits, but animal spirits, the elemental spirits, the spirits that are like in very different dimensions. All right, we have that Ace of Wands energy. So what the land and the trees are trying to say is the reason you're able to see those things is to somewhat show you, because sometimes it's not just with your third eye, it's with your physical eyes, but it's trying to show you that keep going on this path, keep healing, keep raising your vibration, because the more you can start to see, whether it's with the third eye or your physical eyes, the greater your awareness, the more you can be of help to the land. Because sometimes our heart is in the right place, like I really want to help the trees, I really want to help the animals, I want to help the land, but I might be doing it from like a 3D perspective because maybe that's all I can see and that's all I know. So like, well, I want to not cut down the trees, or I want to water the trees, and things like that. But then we get into a deeper level, which is what you're doing. And so now you're starting to see the spirits around them. And so in doing that, we can connect to the spirits. They're also connected to the trees, and see how we can help in that 4D sense. And the trees are saying, and then once you get up beyond that, because you're on the path, baby, so once you get beyond that, like beyond the like 4D type stuff, we start to look into like the 5D, the 6D of like seeing the tree for what it really looks like, which is amazeballs, by the way, seeing the land for what it really looks like. And in that, we can help it at a much greater level than our human perception would have us believe. So you're ready to be a freaking, like, what would even be the word? Docent of the forest, like keeper of the energetic forest. Like you are, I know it's something you already do, but I would say to an even greater degree. So just because of how you're able to see it, which not everybody sees it that way. Not that they can't, it's just maybe they haven't quite raised their frequency to that level yet, which they will eventually. And you're somebody who will be able to help them, in that realm, I think, too, helping people to connect to trees beyond just what they see. So very cool, very cool. Lily's like, thank you, I'm feeling it. Yeah. um, let's see. John says, thank you, I'm glad I'm not alone. I went silent. All righty. So, yeah, if there aren't any more super chats or super stickers, let's go ahead and get into that Litha guided meditation. Let me put these here. And I want to pull from the Litha deck, maybe what direction my higher self might like to take us in that guided meditation. But this has been a fun live chat, by the way. We got to do a nice little Litha spread. We got to make a little dream pillow. Dream pillow. I feel like I want to dream right now. I'm so chillaxed, smelling, like huffing all that lavender. I'm like, but yeah, and then we're gonna do our little Litha meditation. Okay, so I have my deck of cards here. It's my Litha deck. All righty. Okay, what area, what theme, what are we doing for this guide? Ooh, this guided meditation says fruit wine. I've always wanted to make my own wine. I don't drink alcohol anymore, so maybe it would be a non-alcoholic wine, but still, I think you just call that grape juice. Never mind then. Maybe I'll just make fruit juice. Grape juice. Okay, it says this is a celebratory invitation to the possibilities gifted when you reach beyond yourself. How beautiful. Just like I've said before, with baking or making anything, it's representative of like us. We're all these different, unique people, different souls with all these, unique attributes. But when you put us all together, we make something new entirely. So it's like when you take all these individual fruits, yeah, you can have an orange, you can have a cherry, you can have a grape, but you put them all together and you make something quite delicious and something beyond with that cherry or that grape or, that orange, what they could possibly even fathom beyond themselves. It's something beautiful. So I like that. That should be the focus of our meditation, definitely, is seeing not ourself as just an individual ingredient, but the beauty that we make as a whole. Mike says, it's been great. Kayla said, thank you for the beautiful messages, Tara. Thank you guys. You guys have had some wonderful messages today. I thank you guys for hanging out. If you want, you can stay tuned for this guided meditation. Also, we'll see how it goes. I might single this out and make this a separate video too. Um, let's see. Oh, okay. Maybe we want to focus on this guy for our meditation, our Litha meditation. So maybe I'll just try to move myself out of frame so you guys can just focus on him. All right. So go ahead and get yourselves into a nice quiet space. You guys could be sitting under a tree, maybe laying on a blanket outside, or maybe you're just laying on your bed, sitting in a chair, perhaps seated on some cushions on the floor, whatever place is comfortable for you. And make sure that you will not be disturbed for the next several minutes. And once you have a nice cozy spot, go ahead and bring your awareness to your breath, watching the rise and fall of the chest, perhaps placing a hand over your chest, watching the gentle, natural, rhythmic ebb and flow of life, of breath. Breathing in all that wonderful oxygen and life of all the plants and the algae and the trees offer us. And breathing out what no longer serves us, but yet becomes transmuted into something more life-giving for that algae, for those trees, those plants and flowers. And thus we are all one community, helping each other to breathe, helping each other to grow. And as you continue breathing, go ahead and think about this upcoming Litha, or summer solstice, if you will. What is something new, some new life that you would like to breathe in? And once you have your mind focused on it, go ahead and breathe that into your body, filling every part of your vessel, from your head and your eyes, your teeth, your skin and nails, your cells, your organs, all of it. Every aspect of you being filled with this beautiful life, this newness. How does it feel within your body? Is it something physical? Perhaps it comes in the form of a scent or an image that pops up in your mind, or perhaps even a sound. But as you feel these things, let them float on by. And just continue breathing. And if we're going to bring in newness in life, we definitely want to release something that no longer serves us, something that is just taking up space, but yet once served us and was very helpful at some point in our lives, but is no longer. And so as we exhale, we thank that energy for having been in our life. We show it gratitude. No matter if we attribute it as positive or negative, it was still something that we needed at the time. Some sort of healing, some sort of lesson. And we release it with love, with gratitude, to be transmuted into something more beneficial for someone else. Continue breathing. And now I want you to imagine a large glass vessel. This could be a bowl, it could be a pitcher, it could be a cup. If you want it to be ornate, this is up to you. But visualize it as best you can, perhaps even touch it. And in this vessel, we will call this the collective consciousness. And we are going to fill it with all the consciousnesses on this planet, encapsulating source, encapsulating every one of us, no matter what form we took on this plane of existence, whether we were a squirrel or a human, a tree, a rock, or maybe we're the wind. But I want you to look down at yourself at the moment. What ingredient, what aspect are you of this collective consciousness? Perhaps you are an orange or a flower. Perhaps you're the sugar. But take a moment, and what ingredient would you be? It doesn't have to be food related. Take your time. Once you have your visual firmly planted in your mind of what ingredient you may be, I want you to place yourself into this glass vessel, this bowl or cup or pitcher. And perhaps at first it may seem a bit lonely to be the only ingredient in this pitcher. But after not much time, we notice other beings, other ingredients joining us in this pitcher. Perhaps you start to see cats or pickles or trees, whatever it may be. Allow them to join you in this vessel. Perhaps introducing yourself to one another. And look at how unique all these individual ingredients are. Nothing looks the same, nothing speaks the same. They don't even feel like the exact same energy, but something entirely their own. And after a moment, something begins to happen. All of these individual ingredients, no matter what form they chose to take in this particular meditation, begin to blend together. Witness this. It seems what is a part of you begins to be a part of something else. It's almost as if you can't separate yourself from the orange or the cat or the tree or the pickle. And at first, this may seem jarring, not understanding what could possibly be gained by taking all of these different things and making them one. But after a while, it starts to feel good. You feel whole. You feel love. And you begin to see the love that you are, the wholeness that you already were, because you were a part of everything. And everything is whole because of you. And so you embrace this meshing of energy, this blending of forms. And after a while, this once vessel filled with individual parts becomes a glowing, white, sparkling liquid of light. No one knows where one being begins and one being ends, as you are all one. Feel this. Feel the wholeness, the one, the light that all of these different parts created. And feel into this. When you are ready, you may bid this visual adieu, but let it sit within your memory. Anytime you feel alone, anytime you feel lost, anytime you question your purpose or your path, go back to this feeling of wholeness, of oneness, that you are a part of this beautiful ambrosia we call life, this wonderful light, and feel whole again. And so when you are ready, go ahead and bring your awareness back into your body. You can start wiggling your fingers and toes, and you can have yourself a little stretch and open your eyes. All righty, you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that meditation. Woo! That was fun. Mike said, great med. I became a light being. That is beautiful, wonderful. I hope you guys enjoyed that meditation. Yeah, maybe I will single out this meditation, make it a separate video for you guys next week. But wow, what a fun live chat. Again, thank you guys so much for joining in on this live chat and bringing down these messages with us, slinging cards with us, pulling down your channeled messages. For all the super chats and super stickers, I'm always appreciative when I get to pull cards for you guys. Thank you for sticking around. Make a little dream pillow with us, a little fairy dream pillow, and for doing the Litha spread. You guys are amazeballs. I hope you have a wonderful Litha. And for those that don't celebrate Litha, but maybe you're into the solstice or midsummer, I hope that you have a great week. I hope you have a great day. Yeah, and let's rock on, you know, the rest of this year. Lily said, Tara, lots of vibrations. Yes, everybody's saying thank you. Like I said, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. John says, sorry, I missed the donation birthday readings. Hey, no worries. Today is actually the last day. So yeah, you guys have a wonderful Litha, wonderful rest of your day, a beautiful month. Catch you guys later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye, guys.